There are many other things to explain, but now let's depart for the Battle of Gandu. Before major battles, sometimes special conversations like this take place. Do you mean that the characters are talking about what kind of battle this is? Yes, they are talking about the flow of events up to this point, this battle, and beyond that in the War Council. While I'd like to show you this in entirety, I'd like to enjoy it to for yourself, so I will skip it this time. Personally, I'm happy about the phonetic characters. This time we've included them so that it's easy to read. It can be hard to read the names of people and places. Let's skip this and go. Now, before certain battles begin, war councils like this are held. War councils are where the conditions for victory or defeat are explained, as well as a strategy, such as what route to take, which key locations to be defended, and so on. It's so good. They explain everything carefully. Not only about strategy, but conversations between officers may contain unexpected hints in them, so I think listening to these carefully will make them more enjoyable. Now let's also skip past the War Council. This is for when you actually play. Or it says here companions. Yes, here you can select a companion. Depending on the battle, the starting position may change depending on the companion you choose, so think about who you fight with each time. You can even go alone. Yes, however, in this battle, the starting position will not change no matter which companion is selected, so this time I will go with Xiahou who is selected first. Let's go to the Battle of Bangu.
Nice voice. Together with Cao Cao. Nice. Just to casually mention that it loads really fast. You're right, here we go. Now for the battle. Oh, wait, there are a lot of enemies. They're enemies, right? Yes, of course they are enemies, but there are allies too. Now let's go. This is quite a situation, but you're not engulfed in a crowd at all. Yes, otherwise we would be run over. So first of all, in front of us is enemy Zhang He pushing forward with his large force. So let's fight in this area for a while so that our allies will not be crushed. They seem very strong. Officers are also in there. They're incredibly strong. Soldiers also have deadly attacks when they turn orange. This is special arts that blocks an enemy's deadly attack. Orange, they continuously come at you. This is a power attack that cannot be guarded against. Oh, it's going to be like this. I don't want to be stuck here fighting myself against a large force, so I'm thinking of moving on in a little bit. Delegate. Yes. I guess one option might be to keep fighting this all the way through. You could wipe out all the enemies here, then move on. But it seems like I can't this time, so I will leave this to my allies for now. And from here, we will help Xu Huang, who is trying to cut off enemy supply lines by attacking the enemy base. We are meeting up with them. Xu Huang is in front of us. So first, I will attack this base. By defeating enemy officers or enemy troops in the base, you will empty the red gauge at the top and conquer it. So that is how it looks like. That's easy to understand. And there is a red dot below the gauge that indicates the number of enemy officers in the base. And if there is even one officer remaining in the base, it will not fall. Once the gauge is empty and no officers are left, you can take over the base. Cool. Wow, that's nice. Our skilled director is handling the gameplay today. The gameplay is so cool when you can carry out smoothly like this. And we are so close to conquering the base. Wonderful. That's cool. This feeling is addictive, isn't it? Now we have taken over the base. I would like to move on. The first place we were at is getting more and more dangerous. But we will ignore that for now. That's important. We cannot be stuck. So Cao Cao is now in Area 2 in the southeast. And since Cao Cao is about to head north to a place called Wuchao, it would be a good idea to help him. So I'm going to join up with Cao Cao while defeating the enemies that are in the way of our passage. Nice move. And you can check the map in the lower right corner and cooperate with your allies while looking at where they are coming from. And important status messages are shown on the right side, like Cao Cao has started marching towards Wuchao, so you can move along while referring to those messages. There he is, Cao Cao. The enemy officer is getting in the way, so we will work together to defeat him. This is so cool. Feels great. Very exhilarating. And the sound and everything. The battle against officers are very challenging, but at the same time, the battles feel great to play. So go for it. And go for it. Parry. Cool, we didn't need to worry about him at all. But we still can't finish this one. There's no greater satisfaction for gamers. Gamers are very particular about wanting to make cool plays, like connecting various moves. I think that this Dynasty Warriors game is perfect in that respect, since it is more enjoyable than ever before. Oh, and to finish things up, it's fun just to watch it. I'd like to try it. Now that we've defeated the enemies in our way, Cao Cao has resumed his march, so it's time to take over the base ahead. And now the door is closed. So we're using the protagonist's special power that I mentioned before. This is called Eyes of the Sacred Bird. Using the Eyes of the Sacred Bird, various pieces of information on the battlefield can be seen in real time. There are many ways to utilize it, but it can mainly be used to see the status of officers on both sides or to trigger tactics that you can issue to your troops of guards. Here, let's use one of the tactics, order to march, to send guards to another battle zone. So while those guards do their best in the area I sent them to, yes, now they went. And I will proceed with capturing the base whose gates have been opened together with Cao Cao. And there are many enemies here too. So I want to capture this base before I move on. It's important to capture this place, but I think you can see the gate glowing. And you could open it without them surrendering, but the enemy will get in the way. So basically, better to take control before proceeding. You're sweeping them away. And here, if it doesn't go well, then it will be a problem for the director. So with the base under control, all the gates to the base will open. And there are pots, speaking of bases, and in the pots there are meat buns. I wondered why meat buns from pots, freshly steamed meat buns. In Dynasty Warriors, meat buns are a staple. Let's stock up on meat buns that will recover health and then move on. So with the Wuchao inside, Cao Cao has begun preparing for a surprise attack. And we will approach him and launch a surprise attack together. I like the sound of the battle cry. By attacking together with allies in this way, we can lower the enemy's morale and courage. This is exactly what you talked about earlier. Yes, to add some information about morale and courage. So morale affects both your forces and the enemy forces as the blue and the red gauge in the lower right. This affects everything. And courage is a matter of the status of individual forces and officers. When you conduct a surprise attack, you can lower the morale and the courage of your enemy and to create a very advantageous situation. There were a lot of officers. Yes, here. And we will fight against a female officer called Zhen Ji. And this is an extreme Musou attack, a special move you can execute with companions. This is so cool and strong. Very powerful. You can't use it many times, but you can use it once when the companion's gauge is more than half full and the director is fighting mercilessly against this female officer. This is just the way warfare is. So, incidentally, the base gauge at the top of the screen is empty, but there are still 3 officers here. Let's defeat them, and then we can conquer this base. And enemies are increasing again. Oh my god. The protagonist is using true Musou attacks, which is a powerful mode making him invincible and he can do whatever he wants. And this is the best part. That's what I want to do. In this state of true Musou attacks, the finishing move is a new special move called Ultimate Musou Attack. It's powerful and it's very cool. This is a very cool move. And this is the end. We finished off. Yes, we conquered the base. Thank you. It's a great feeling. Now that the storehouse or base in Wuchao has been conquered, set a fire. Yes, the storehouse will be burned. There are many enemy troops, so losing their provisions will greatly lower their morale. And Yuan Shao will also be very angry after this. What a great reaction. Yeah, that's it. He gave us what we wanted. The enemy morale has dropped significantly. That's a lot. The gauge was less than 1/3. So now this is a chance to defeat the large enemy force that we struggled with at the beginning. And we've left it to our allies, you know. Yes, just now I used the order to return on guards I sent with the Eyes of the Sacred Bird tactic. Now, let's head for the large enemy force we struggled with earlier.
Oh, here it comes, here it comes. I'm going to use the Eyes of Sacred Bird tactic called Volley. By executing it from a high location, you can lower the enemy's courage. And now I use it. Oh. It works really well. Since the enemy's courage has been greatly lowered, you can defeat enemy officers and troops in an exhilarating way, and the large force gauge at the top decreases quickly. So there are many different types of tactics. Yes, at the moment there are 3 types of tactics set up, but as the game progresses, you will gain more tactics, so you can also set up your favorite combination. Interesting. Different depending on the player. It also how to handle the current situation and what tactic you use. I hope that everyone who plays the game will enjoy it according to their own strategies. The enemy officers are coming back more and more and more. They're leaving. They decided to retreat for a while. Now the situation reversed. The allies are heading towards the enemy headquarters in the north. The vitality looks unlimited. They run so fast. People in the past had a lot of physical strength. They would go great distances and while carrying many items. Soldiers are also very fast. While the protagonist is also headed north, but his allies have split into 2 and are advancing towards the west. So they're all marching smoothly. I'm going to north too, but since we've split into 2, I'm going to go to the right. Allies are starting to prepare for the assault and are waiting for the others to come. Since I'm here, I will change my weapon from gauntlets to a staff. Depending on the weapon, the characteristics change, but a staff might be better suited to large forces. It has a long reach and it's fast. Oh, here they come. This is good. While you can go in alone, I'd like to go in together with my allies for the sake of the program. Looking at the huge number of enemies, have them flinch once, then go in with allies. Now, I would like to start the assault with Cao. Cool. It starts great and feels really good. It's a battle between large forces. Our courage got a huge boost. The shield soldiers are like a wall, so it's tough. To advance our allies, we need to be more aggressive, breaking down walls. I can attack smoothly because I have a lot of allies, but if I go alone, first I'm blocked by shields, and then I'll get beat up inside. The courage is really high. Enemies and allies of large forces are in a state of antagonism. It feels good. This is very good action. It's great. Some people might think that Dynasty Warriors is just about button mashing, but I can see you're thinking of a very precise strategy in your head, thinking about what to do next. In particular, the strategy and structure of Dynasty Warriors Origins has been enhanced, so I think that those who like that kind of thing will enjoy it even more. In this game, if an enemy officer is willing to engage in duel, you can agree to it. In a duel, regardless of the amount of health at start, the winner is the one who dominates the gauge at the top of the screen within the time limit. Very strong. The orange moves. Be careful. Evade well. Since this is simulated play, we have plenty of time to spare. Push through from there. The final blow, it's a staff, so the action has changed again. Winning a duel will greatly lower the enemy's courage. While their courage is lowered, it's your chance. They fell on the backside, so you can beat them with a single blow, since enemy officers are also weaker. And while I was talking, the enemy has used a tactic. The general commander Yun Shao has triggered a ground tactic called overwhelming charge. This ground tactic is allowing the enemy to launch a very powerful attack. But by fulfilling its conditions shown in the top left corner, you can prevent it from happening. This time you have to defeat two of them, Yontan and Yonshang, within 3 minutes. First, we'll take on one of them. An exclamation mark appears. I'll take the sun, Yonshang. I will use Eyes of the Sacred Bird tactic mounted charge, hitting officers in the distance lowers the courage. I got it, hit myself. If you fight like this and lower their courage even more, you can defeat them faster and more comfortably. This is a nice flow. Not only Yuan Tan is left, and he can be seen in the distance. You can certainly see an exclamation mark in the distance. My allies are fighting for me, so I'll head to Yontan's location to stop him in time. There are 2 minutes left, but Yontan seems to be harder or stronger than Yonshang. He still has health. His moves are unique. The change character gauge on the left is also full, and I'm thinking out loud that it might be a good idea to switch it to the companion character. What is that? Can you do that? Before that, I will try a bit harder. And I'm going to switch to the companion. When you switch to a companion, they are very strong. It's the same in terms of firepower, so you're practically invincible. So as a 1 versus 1,000 officer, you can fight aggressively. It's like kind of fever time. And Musou Rage is an even stronger state where you're completely invincible, so you're very powerful. Wow, really strong. It's totally different. So we successfully prevented the enemy's grand tactic. The situation is now completely in your favor. However, since I switched to a companion, I have not yet performed the final move, Ultimate Musou Attack, a completely different magnitude of power. This one. Wow! Awesome! 1,000. Truly an army of one.